All right, everyone.
I don't even know. Hey, I'm you know I'm not gonna complain. Not the prettiest, but also you got to take it with a grain of salt. Building block. We're gonna talk about this. I said, you know, Rob, I literally said to you today how important I think this game is to win. You go through those troubles that you went through. You take the loss that you took. To the Chicago Bulls. You come back. Celtics. Didn't have a pretty first half. I wouldn't say they had an awful first half. They, little slow start maybe, but defensively tonight was, tremendous. Holding the Magic to 79 points. They didn't shoot well, at all by any means. Boston didn't either, but this was definitely a defensive game for each of the two teams.
Yeah, it's great to get back in that win column. Especially after dropping three in a row. Three games you really should have won all three of them. Could have been winning three in a row. I think the first half we struggled a lot on both ends of the ball. First quarter it was really on defense. Second quarter is kind of on offense. I think the thing that stood out to me most, I'm going to talk about this more once Ian and Seamus get here, was the third quarter.
Yeah, which is a quarter they usually struggle in.
31-10 was that third quarter run we went on throughout 12 minutes throughout the quarter, so that was good. I think Jaylen Brown, he continues to really be the go-to guy here. We're going to talk about more about Jaylen Brown, when the other guys come in. Jayson Tatum's shot still just not falling.
Got some good looks too.
He got some good looks. His shooting has been awful though. Free throw shooting too. He shot 62% from the line today, 5 for 8. However, Al Horford, he's kind of set in stone. He's bearing any injuries, knock on wood, but he's double machine. He's going to be that guy this year for us. If the Celtics can creep up to a top seed, which obviously, I'm not saying we're gonna, but I'm saying if we do, which I hope we do, and you could, if he keeps playing the way he is, you could see him potentially get an all-star spot, I think, because he's playing that well. Other than that, though, like I said, a win's a win. You look at Orlando, and we beat them in every major category. We beat them in rebounding, we beat them in passing, and we beat them in the final score. So it wasn't the prettiest win, I think. Only scoring 92 points, but it's a win you'll take.
Exactly, like you said. Look, Celtics been going through the troubles they've been going through. Like we said in the pregame show, a win here tonight is, any win is a good win right now, where the Celtics are at. I think Ime Udoka played it smart in a way. We said, you want to see guys like, Pritchard and Nesmith and Romeo tonight, which we did. We saw them, all three of them actually, but it was kind of smart keeping it safe. Orlando went on a quick, 9-0 run in that fourth quarter, and that might have gotten Ime Udoka a little bit nervous, a little bit, skeptical. So he kept the starters in, and, Celtics, hey, not only did they win, but they kept a double-digit lead. So, you'll take what you can get nowadays.
Yeah, for sure. And, like we said, this game wasn't going to tell us a lot. We knew that coming into this game, right? We understood what the goal was in this game. And I think the Celtics did a solid job. They came in, they got the job done. I think, like I was saying with that third quarter, the reason why that third quarter stuck out to me was because when we needed to close the deal, right, we didn't let them kind of stick in the game for the third quarter, right? No, we shut the door on them. We said, listen, we're down 2 entering the half, and we shut the door. We come out with a 31-10 run, so I thought that was good. Like I said, though, we didn't look amazing. I'm not going to lie.
Well, yeah, we didn't. This is just a building block to where we, should end up. However, I'm pretty excited because I'm 1-2, baby. I got it. I got my first guarantee of the season. The Celtics made me look good, especially in the third quarter. However, again, I don't know. I don't know how much stock I really put into tonight because we did struggle for most of the first half. Blew them out in the third. Didn't really put them away in the fourth at all. It was more of just, the clock ran out. That was
back and forth, yeah.
It was really just kind of that vibe at the end of the game. And not the best win, but a win that the team certainly needed, and a win that they couldn't sacrifice.
And finally, Al Horford has a good game and the Celtics win. I feel
Yes.
I feel so bad. Yeah, he's had a great game every game he's played, and the Celtics have just blown every game. So I'm glad Celtics came out with a win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
there's not much to this game, really.
No. I mean,
Really,
it was, it wasn't the prettiest wins, but it wasn't like the worst win ever. Like a win is a win, especially when you're, 2-5. You're coming off of three straight losses at home too. You take what you can get right now. It is early in the season. There are going to be things to improve on. The Orlando Magic, great young springy team. They obviously had a horrid night, which thank God, because they actually torched the Minnesota Timberwolves in the fourth quarter in their last win. And the last thing we needed was another fourth quarter run by an opponent.
So I'm seeing here. So the team had let me get this straight. So is the team, this is post games, the team is either going to schedule.
No, they had a team meeting. That's what you're getting to.
They have
Woj came out, and said
he leaked that at halftime.
Yeah, I'm seeing it now. So,
and Al Horford responded saying, "All good."
So Celtics. Well, this apparently
goes
had
back,
a players only meeting. You can go.
I'm
you go.
fumbling around here with the tweets.
No. You're not fumbling at all. You're trying to catch up because this happened. This was released at halftime. At least this is when I figured it out too. They said
Celtics.
it on NBC's
That's weird.
Report came out. Celtics players had a players only meeting, like we've heard time and time again. Celtics fans. And apparently, what Woj said was that the meeting was not productive and was emotional.
Was not productive?
Yeah, it was very unproductive. It was not beneficial, in other words.
Yeah.
Well, that is.
And then
that concerning? Is that
just right now, Al Horford?
Is that concerning moving forward?
Well, right now, Al Horford just said in his post-game walk-off with Abby Chin, said, quote, "We're all good. We're going to be just fine. It's a long season and guys are competitive. We all want to win."
Yeah. Yeah, like
I don't know why the media, like, I understand this kind of keeps happening within the past few years, but they want to win. It's times like these where at least these guys are being honest upfront with each other. They're having meetings, they're talking it out. It's nothing like Smart, like if Smart said something about Tatum, but he didn't say it to his face, or he just kept talking about him. It's not like that. What these guys have emotions. These guys are human beings. These guys have agreements and disagreements. These guys are settling them like adults, and the media is making it a big deal.
Well, so anytime a team struggles, and anytime with a team like the Celtics struggle, Celtics are a big media market, right? So I understand. It's ESPN. They're trying to get a story out of it. Woj is trying to get a story. And like I said, what did I tell you? I think I said this to Justin today on the phone. I said, what's the difference between this year and last year? There's a certain individual. It's Al Horford. Al Horford is the difference. The way he's been playing and the impact he has in that locker room, right? Al Horford's kind of like this team's father in a way, right? And I know that term might be shaky, but that's what he is. I mean, this is a guy that's I want to say his 15th year in the league. He's a multiple-time All-Star. You add a ring or two to Al Horford's resume, and you're looking at Hall of Fame status. Like, just by based off of resumes, right? That's how it usually works. Obviously, a ring is a lot to ask for, right? Yeah. And I'm not, conversation for a different day. But I'm saying is that this is a guy that's he's respected throughout the locker room, right? And he nailed it. He nailed it. These guys want to win. Listen, Jayson Tatum, as much crap as I give him, he's a superstar. Don't get me wrong, right? However, this is a guy that's still young. He's only 24, right? He's been playing bad. He's, it's okay. Like I said, it's going to happen, right? We're going to figure this out.
Yeah, and I don't worry about this situation with the team. However, these stories do keep coming out where, like Woj said here, not a terribly productive meeting, maybe not even beneficial. These are issues with the team and this group that have been going on for a while. And that even goes back to not pre-Al Horford, but pre-Al Horford from when he's, returning. We saw it inside the bubble. There was an emotional Marcus Smart moment. There are probably moments last year where you go, the Celtics probably had some sort of little congregation after that. And then over the summer, they extend Smart. Smart is coming in as a starting point guard, but Smart demands a lot out of these guys. And Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I don't want to say they're soft, but they're still young guys.
Yeah.
They're still young guys. They're still learning their way. And, I don't know if this is really a problem necessarily with, we have problems in the locker room with chemistry or these guys don't like each other. I think that there's just an accountability level that Marcus Smart is so polarizing because he's almost the leader in the locker room and the guy that, demands a lot out of his teammates and is, that energy guy on the floor. And to not be the Celtics' best player and to be that, he's not really been the best offensive player throughout his career. And he even had his moments of, what are you doing? And the fact that he's that player, yet he holds that status within the organization and the locker room, that just makes it a really sticky situation. And like the Celtics, I think we're just seeing them navigate what it's like to have your two-star players be two really young guys and have your leader be a returning veteran. And now also I think Marcus Smart, he's not – some people in the eyes of them, they look at Marcus Smart as this low-level role player, this, probably above-average role player. But he's much more than that to this specific basketball team. And that's just sort of the interesting dynamic that's happening with the Celtics right now.
Yeah, totally. I mean, like I said, it's something where you got to look at who these guys are, right? Last year it was so easy for that team to slip away, right? Because they didn't have a lot of leadership and experience in there. Kemba Walker was in. Don't get me wrong, they all loved Kemba, right? He was a great personality. But he wasn't necessarily a guy to kind of rally the troops and be like, listen, guys, we really got to focus on winning here. And you look at this locker room, you got guys like Al Horford, Marcus Smart, right? You could say Schroeder and Richardson, or not less so Richardson, but more so Schroeder. These are guys who are going to step up and say, listen, this is the standard, right? We're not hitting the standard. I think it's great. I think the fact that this is they're upset, they're holding meetings because they're losing is good. They realize what the standard is, and they realize they're not hitting the standard. So now it's okay, right? Let's come out and let's fix this. How can we fix this? Right? This is like Seamus said, tonight wasn't great. It was a win, but it was a building block.
Guys, hang on.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're being so pessimistic. The Celtics have to win the championship now. We just beat the best team in Florida by 20 something points. We just beat the best team in Florida. I mean, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I feel like this team's all of their problems are fixed. It's over. We're winning it all. We beat the best team in Florida tonight, and we just play the other team tomorrow. But
Miami Heat in the section right now, in the comment section right now, they're deep.
I know. I'm playing, but yeah, in all seriousness,
no Jaguars, or did you say basketball team or just team?
I said best basketball team. I didn't say best team. Best team in Florida. Yeah, they're really grinding it out this season. But anyway, so
combined 1 win through 9 weeks.
Anyway, to talk seriously on the Celtics. To talk seriously on the Celtics, the only reason why they didn't lose this game was because Miami is just that much worse than they are. And I'm saying that, I'm not trying to be completely pessimistic, and that's not the only reason why we lost this game or won this game. But, outside of Jaylen Brown and, Al Horford, and even Robert Williams played pretty well, but outside of that, there wasn't really a lot impressive. Jayson Tatum struggled.
So something I think we have to talk about. Like we said, there's not a lot to get out of this game. It's a win. We kind of knew we were going to win this game. You don't really drop a game to Orlando. Historically, it always feels like whenever something whenever something goes wrong for the Celtics, Orlando's the next game up on the schedule and we get a win. I feel like that's how it always works. However, I think tomorrow's game is really, really big. You're going in, you're playing a team that's arguably the hottest team in basketball right now. What are they, 6-1?
They're hot.
Right?
They're heat. They're the heat.
Yeah, so, I think tomorrow is a real telltale sign of where is this direction, how serious is this team going to be? Now, we can lose tomorrow, right? And I won't be 100% mad if we
it
keep
depends
it
how.
Yeah. Unless we lose like we lost against the Bulls, I don't think I'll have a problem losing tomorrow.
Yeah, totally. But obviously I want to win, right? And the expectation is win. However, like Seamus has been saying, it's building blocks here. So if the Celtics go into Miami, keep it competitive. Like I said, this is the hottest team in basketball. They keep it competitive. Tatum, is passing well. The ball's moving well. Defense is there. We go in, we lose by 6, we lose by 8. So, right around that range, single digits. It's close all game. That's a loss. We're like, okay, that happens, right? They're a good basketball team. It's a long regular season. It's a loss that you're going to have to live with. If we go in there and we get smoked by 20 and we get smoked by 15, right? Or we have a big time lead and it's blown, or we don't execute down the stretch, then you're going to be like, okay, like why is this problem still reoccurring? I feel like.
Yeah, tomorrow's game is pretty much a schedule loss. You look at the schedule, back-to-back, Miami Heat, second night of the back-to-back against them on their home floor. If the Celtics get a win tomorrow, that's going to be huge. It's going to be huge for them. I don't expect them to come out and win because, quite frankly, they didn't really show that much tonight that shows that, hey, we're ready to be a competent basketball team again.
Yeah.
Congrats. You beat the Orlando Magic, who are what now, 2-7?
Mm.
Great. And you
But
struggled.
we're not 2-7.
3 out of the 4 times. It's great that we got tonight's win. Tomorrow, though, we have to be competitive, at least. That's really all that the fan base should be asking for out of the Celtics tomorrow, is just to be competitive in that game. They were competitive enough tonight to win, but they didn't blow anyone's socks off tonight. Let's not lie about that one because, the Orlando Magic, no offense to you guys, rough season ahead.
Yeah.
We got some fun young players, but that's just what it is.
Like I said, I think the third quarter spoke a lot to me because, when they needed to, right, when the game was close, it was halftime, when they needed to make adjustments and needed to kind of put the nail in the coffin, they came out and they did it. 31 to 10 quarter? Yeah, 31 to 10 quarter. They came out, they got the job done. Fourth quarter, you got the bench Al. Al only played, 26 minutes? 26 minutes, you were able to get those bench guys in, kind of take some wear and tear off those legs for tomorrow night. So, yeah, it wasn't the biggest. We didn't blow them out necessarily. I mean, we kind of did and didn't.
Sorry, that was Ian's TikTok.
I didn't play that, by the way. That was not
shameless,
me. That was
that was me. But that was your TikTok that popped up.
I appreciate the shameless plug.
The shameless plug.
It's a game you look at, you win, right? But let's not focus on Orlando. What do we got to do against the Heat, right? Like what's up for tomorrow night?
Well,
physicality. I mean,
lots of it.
This Celtics team has been known to be a little bit on the softer side of things when it comes to being physical with other teams. Miami, they're not shy about their physicality. I know that we played them in the preseason and we lost by 21. That wasn't entirely indicative of obviously the two teams, but you saw with that Miami team, like there were times in the game where they would completely bully us near the rim. And tomorrow the Celtics can't let that happen. However, they've been known to do so in the past.
If I remember correctly, in the preseason, I know we didn't have people. I know it was only preseason, so I'm not going to overreact a lot. But that game was fairly close until the fourth quarter, and Miami exploded. Yeah. So we kind of talked about guys like tonight, like a Terrence Ross in our team matchup, like a Cole Anthony. These guys hit one shot, all of a sudden they're hot, right? One and done, and they're hot. This Miami team, similar to that. Once Duncan Robinson gets going, once Tyler Hero gets going, even their new addition Kyle Lowry gets going, this team is a force to reckon with.
So something I'm looking at and thinking about when you're playing the Heat, I completely agree. Physicality, Adebayo's averaging 14 rebounds. Dwayne Dedmon's a very solid big man off the bench, but and mind you, they have a Morris brother, Markieff Morris. He's going to go in there and he's going to really cause commotion. So they got a great team, but I'm looking at Tyler Hero right now. He's averaging 22 points per game. He's coming off the bench. They got flamethrowers. You have Duncan Robinson who could light you up if you're not careful. So I'm looking at three people here. I'm looking at Marcus Smart. I'm looking at Josh Richardson, and I'm looking at Jayson Tatum because those are three guys, and Robert Williams for Adebayo, but those are three guys who play the perimeter that are really gonna have to strap up with Hero, with Butler, and with Robinson. Robinson's a lot of off-ball movement. Hero is very crafty, and Jimmy Butler is the leader in MVP voting right now in the race. So you have to come in there and you have to play defense every possession.
Yeah, I mean,
no, go ahead, Ian.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
But yeah, so I knew it was going to happen eventually, but
We haven't done
I
it in
think-
like 3 shows.
well, no, we did it yesterday. We didn't do it in the pregame show, so we
we're
just
one
didn't say anything for like a couple seconds. But anyway, so yeah, like you said, Rob, it's probably the most important thing for them. They have to play their best defensive game basically they've ever played in their entire lives. It feels like if they want to even have like a remote shot at beating the Heat, it honestly that's just what it feels like in my opinion. But like, I mean, they do have a chance. I mean, the Heat can have an off night. It happens. I mean, but the Celtics,
I feel like we match up pretty well, right? Coming off the bench, they have Hero.
We do match up well. It's just I think the problem is I don't know. It just feels like the Heat have so much depth, and I mean the Celtics have a lot more depth than they normally did. But at the same time, it just feels like
the Heat on a normal rotation will go 7-man deep. They'll play Hero off the bench. They'll play Dedmon as backup center, and then so 8-man. They go either Morris or Cody or Kobe. Caleb Martin. Off the bench. So, and you look at the Celtics, and they kind of do the same thing. So, I think it's going to be a good game. I'm expecting Al Horford. We no longer have Daniel Tice matched up against Bam Adebayo, and it's Al Horford, and Horford's proven elite defender, elite shot blocker, elite rebounder, right?
Defensive Player of the Year, Al Horford.
So what's up with the NBA not having him on the blocks graphic? Did I miss something? He was averaging 3.8 blocks the other day.
I think he hasn't played enough games to get on there.
I think he had to play 5+ games.
5+,
now.
yeah. So because Robert Williams was on there.
Yeah. So it was a 5-game minimum.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Rob, you're cutting.
He's on there now, folks.
He should. Definitely.
He should be. Is he top 3 defensive player of the year right now? Al Horford?
No joke. Yes.
If the Celtics were 6-2, he'd be top 3 MVP based off. I mean, he's playing great. Like he really is playing great.
I have another question for tomorrow's game though. For the forum here. Who has a better game tomorrow? Is it Tyler Hero or is it Jayson Tatum? Because Jayson Tatum, we haven't really talked about him tonight.
I'd rather not.
Really poor performance from him again.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And
you're very right.
And the thing is, he had a lot of good looks tonight, and he just was flat. And I mean flat. Like his shots weren't close. It looked tired. I will admit, I did like his I did like he wasn't complaining. He was getting back defensively. I thought the effort was there. There was look to pass, look to get to the free throw line. Continuing to miss free throws seems to be a problem for the Celtics. Luckily, they were up enough points to really, clamp down defensively and make up for those missed free throws. But I agree. Tatum had a lot of wide open looks, and they're flat.
So something I've noticed this season is that scoring's down, like big time. There's no 30-point scorers.
I love that.
Yeah, so scoring's down, and you see guys around the league who are actually. Bradley Beal averaged 32 points or 31 points per game. He's averaging 24. Luka Doncic averaging 24. Trey Young averaging 23. Devin Booker 22. Scoring's down in between. I'm not making excuses, but there's a new ball or whatnot. So
I was just gonna talk about that.
Yeah, so
Sorry
I think
to cut you off, bro.
no, you're good. I'm just quick. You can go right after. I think that it's just gonna quickly. No, you're good. You're good. Quickly, just take some time to get them into the flow of things. You know.
Yeah, because I was just gonna talk about the new ball because
Yeah.
so they were mentioning that in my live stream on TikTok that everyone was talking about the new ball, and I'm like, I completely forgot they put a new ball in place.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just like, I mean, obviously it's not gonna.
They're saying it's flat, right? Is it flat?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
like completely like flattened it out. It feels like.
Yeah.
And I mean, you saw it in the MLB. The MLB changed their balls, and the home runs. I mean, they were a little down. They were a little worse. But at the same time, I mean, is it something to do with the ball, or is it something else? I don't think the ball makes too much of a difference. But if it does, then we know why.
It could be the ball and the rule change. I mean, I don't know. I think there was a number that free throws weren't exactly down from this point last year. But overall, from the Stars' perspective of things, I think Stars are taking less and less free throws because they're the ones being targeted for those calls of, you know, you're not going to lunge yourself into a defender and get a call that way anymore. I personally think the game has more flow this year without, you know, I just think last year there were just so many free throws. There were so many stoppages in play. Games took forever. The scores were very, very large. This year, I feel like we're seeing a little bit more condensed games. Like the Celtics game the other night took 2 hours flat against the Bulls, and I thought that was a really high-paced game, a fun game to watch until obviously the fourth quarter for us. But this year, it feels like the refs, they're kind of just letting them play, and within that game, like, yeah, guys are going to be more physical. Dudes aren't going to be scoring at the high levels, at the high rates they are. Because last year, I mean, you look at all the dudes who were just scoring ridiculously last year. Tatum had 4 50-plus point games within a month and a half span. Now, Tatum is an amazing basketball player, but that's insane. That's absolutely insane. You don't really see that in basketball history at all, unless you're talking about someone like Michael Jordan or LeBron. And it's just very weird to see that, or it was weird to see that this year. And this year it feels like the officiating, and it could be the ball. I have no idea.
I have a little something here. Per Mark D'Amico, Emi Udoka says there was no players-only meeting that was scheduled, per se, by the players. He says it was a planned team dinner, and the coaching staff allowed the players to hang out by themselves for about a half hour before the coaches ended up joining them.
So Woj lied?
No, it's
yes and no. I don't think he lied. I think the story could have been enhanced, but a team meeting is a team meeting, whether you have food in front of you or not. I still think the players talked about things, and there were serious conversations, and there were serious emotions. Did it get anywhere? Like Woj said, who knows? But this is per Emi Udoka himself. Team dinner. Coaches didn't show up the first half hour, let the players hang out, and players decided to express upon their play as of late, which I don't think is a terrible idea. So who knows? I mean, there was no food flying across the room, so couldn't have been that bad.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm not saying I didn't believe Woj when he said that, but when I initially heard it, I'm like, it doesn't feel like that actually happened. Like, I mean, I remember Brad Stevens talking about how in the morning Marcus Smart and Jayson Tatum were talking. Like, I remember that part, and like I just assumed it was something casual like that. I didn't think that was like a real players only meeting. But at the same time, I mean, I'm glad that they talked about it because, I mean, these people are adults at the end of the day. They need to figure out problems like adults. So,
yeah.
Yeah, and who knows? Like, this could honestly be nothing. Do we even know what they talked about in the team meeting? They could have all just had a players-only meeting and then talked about literally anything outside of basketball, which sometimes could be good for a team as well. I don't know. This kind of seems like it's something that is being put under a magnifying glass when in reality we don't really know the full extent of what went on because
it's too early.
It's number one, it's a private meeting.
Yeah.
Number two, these guys, they've only really been together for what?
Yeah.
7 games now, 8 games now. It's really early. I don't think they're going to have wild locker room problems where they're going to be yelling at each other. And also, this team has known each other for a long-ass time. These dudes, Horford, Smart, Brown, and Tatum, they've been together since 2017 outside of that little absence. Horford was away from the team, but they've known each other for what, 4 or 5 years almost now? Like, that's just something that is more on a personal level than it is, going out and blatantly saying something in the media. So I think the meeting might not even been about basketball. Who even knows?
I bet you I know what it was. Someone had Derrick Henry on their fantasy team and tried to trade him for someone else because that happened to me in one of my fantasy leagues, and it got me a little irritated, just for a little irritated. So I bet you that's what it was. And it was probably, I don't know, it was probably like Neesmith that tried to do it.
Let's talk about Neesmith for a second. He has scored his first bucket of the season tonight in game number 8. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Why is he being buried in the rotation, Ime? Why? We're asking you.
I know, of all people, he should be the one that plays more.
Yeah, because of this team, number one, their shooting's been terrible. They were 6 of 20 in the first half. I don't know what they ended with the game, but their shooting's terrible. Their effort at times is completely in question. And their defense, when they scramble, dudes are miscommunicating all across the board. So why would it even matter if you're throwing in Neesmith and saying, oh, well, we worry about him, on the defensive end, like, maybe he's not up with the system or whatever, and he's not playing his role. No, like, this team is not really put together anyway, so throw that guy in there more than a minute. Like, it doesn't make sense why he played a minute and then played at garbage time tonight. Just throw him in there.
You know who I don't want to see on the court anymore this year? Is Peyton Pritchard. I'm sorry, but I don't want to see. There's no reason why he should be on the court. What good does he do? He, especially when your bench point guard's Dennis Schroeder, who's already an undersized point guard, right? Peyton Pritchard should not be on the court. I'm sorry. I mean, when games where Schroeder's out, yeah, totally. Pritchard can come in and play 15, 20 minutes. But the rotation off the bench should be Dennis Schroeder, Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford, Aaron Neesmith, and Grant Williams. Those 5. No one else. I'm sorry, Peyton Pritchard should not be on the court. He had a negative plus minus again. I mean, he really just is. He's just defensively. He's a liability. He doesn't really provide us offensively with that much scoring for that liability on defense to be acceptable.
Yeah, and what is his main role on the Celtics? We said coming into the season, be a spark plug off the bench. 9 minutes tonight, 0 of 1, and it wasn't a 3. So he's not doing anything on offense. What do you have? 2 assists, 1 assist tonight. 0 assists, 1 assist tonight. If he's not doing anything on offense, the defensive side of the ball, not his specialty either. In fact, you said it, he's a liability on defense. What is he doing out there? It doesn't really make any sense why he is playing over Neesmith. And I said that pregame. Why are we playing someone who has defensive liabilities? And ultimately, he didn't do much on offense tonight. He was a minus 10, as you said as well, over Neesmith, who actually showed promise last year and can be a legit wing in the NBA.
So I want to address Jayson Tatum's poor shooting, right? I want to read off some numbers of players around the league and how they've been shooting, just to maybe put his shooting percentages into perspective. However, I still think Tatum has an effort problem. He's not always engaged, right? But listen to some of these numbers. I'm going to name off some players. I'm going to give you the percentage. So first, right off the bat, Tatum shooting 27% from 3, okay? Anthony Davis, bad. Yeah. Anthony Davis, 15% from 3.
Who, Anthony Davis?
Anthony Davis. Bradley Beal, 23% from 3. Luka Doncic, 25% from 3. Trey Young, 27% from 3. Devin Booker, 29% from 3. So, Chris Middleton, 26% from 3. Russell Westbrook, I mean, he's 20%, but that's
pretty high for him.
Yeah.
That's a career high, I think.
So
20%.
There is definitely something throughout the league in terms of 3-point shooting that Tatum's also falling victim to. I think that's something we have to look at, and maybe as Celtics fans be a little bit more accepted a little bit just for the time being. However, like I said, you can't complain about foul calls. You got to get back on defense. You got to pass the ball, stuff like that. You can blame him for, but shooting wise, he's in a slump. It looks like a lot of other young stars in the league are in slumps. It's me. Just let him get back into the flow of it.
The coincidence is with a lot of those players you named, they all played in the Olympics. Did the Olympics mess up their I don't know if it messed up their rhythm or it messed up their, what am I trying to say? It messed up their routine, their off-season routine.
Yeah.
Most of those guys outside of Anthony Davis and Trey Young played in the Olympics. So, is it the Olympics and the nonstop basketball? Is it the late season run that Trey Young had that the Hawks weren't expecting to make? And
I think it's just a new season. Your legs can be a little deflated. Like you said, new ball. I'm sure that's a thing. When you're shooting with a Spalding ball for your entire career and you switch over, it's an adjustment for sure. It happens. Not everyone adjusts so everything the same. It can be anything. And I think Jayson Tatum's thing is right now, I think he's just kind of figuring out Ime Udoka and his game plan and the flow of the offense. I think end of last season, end of last season, you got to realize, ball is Jayson Tatum, that's it. No Brown, it was isolation, Jayson Tatum, go get 50. And he was really good at it. So I think this year
was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was
fun to watch. Yeah, so now you got Brown coming back, you got Horford coming back, Schroeder, you got different mouths to feed this year. And I think Tatum's kind of just trying to figure out how to get his buckets, how and when to get them.
Yeah, and you mentioned something like the flow of the offense. Flow of the offense right now for the Celtics. They defensively, look at the team tonight. 79 points allowed. That's amazing. They had an amazing third quarter overall, and we probably should have hit more on that. And 38 to 10 is nothing to brush over, but they only scored 92 points against a Magic team who's not too great defensively. And tonight, Jayson Tatum, I can't explain it. Jayson Tatum, he does, compared to where he was 2 years ago, Jayson Tatum is very good at being aggressive, making the right pass most of the time. However, he just doesn't do it in the flow of the offense. It's more of Tatum airing the ball out and then making those decisions. And late in the game, his decision-making has been completely questionable. But for the rest of the game, the tape, it looks more like he's steady out there. It just isn't coming within the offense. It's coming after he airs the ball out, and he's like, oh, someone's open across the court. Let me pass it over there. It's like he's making a good read, but he's doing it too late. He's not doing it in the flow of things. He's not doing it with the offense. Yeah. And I think that's something that probably comes along with him because, quite honestly, Jayson Tatum, we've seen that he can be a good player before. And I just – his shooting has been terrible, but I continue we haven't gotten to the over-unders yet. We all
we're about to do –
he didn't have over 25, but I think he's going to eventually get there where he's shooting efficiently every single night and still making those plays on the side.
One more thing before we do over-unders, I want to give Jaylen Brown his flowers. He's literally been through hell to start the season. He literally got COVID. That's probably the worst thing that could happen at the moment. And he's overcome it. And ever since Ime Udoka called him out, he's been really good.
Really good. He's averaging 30 points over the last 3 games. He's been awesome.
Shout out to Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown's been huge for us. Him and Al Horford. So let's get into over-under. Right off the bat, check one stat real quick before I say this. I believe that let's see. Hold on. Okay, so I went 0 for 3 today. I missed everything. Yeah, I missed everything. So I had Marcus Smart 6 assists. I said over. You guys all said under that. You guys hit. He had 4. The team passed the ball well though. Team had I want to say 27. Team had 24.
Yeah, they passed.
They beat the over under yesterday.
Really well.
Yeah. So all right. So then we had Jayson Tatum 25 points. We all said over, so we all missed there. And then Al Horford over under 8.5 rebounds. He hit over again. He is I said under. He's been at 14 points and 11 rebounds. To put that into perspective on how good he has played this season, listen to this. So his prime, right, you would think, was probably that 2015 season in Atlanta, right? The year that they were the 1 seed. He played all 82 games. He averaged 15 points and 7 rebounds. Fast forward six seasons with the Boston Celtics. Mind you, yes, he's only played 6 games. He is playing only 1 minute less per game, averaging only 1 point. So he averaged 15.2 in Atlanta. He's averaging 14.4 for Boston. And his rebounding numbers are +5.
You know what they call
Gal,
it,
man.
gentlemen? Aging like fine wine.
Yeah,
Al
I mean,
Horford.
he has really been like
Hey-
I mean, what
hey,
a
Rob.
steal! What's up?
What's our player spotlight? I'm asking for a friend.
It's Jalen. Oh, it's Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
There may be an Instagram post that is being worked on right now. However, like I said, but like I said, I mean, the dude. I mean, he's been playing better. He's been giving us better numbers than back in 2016 when we first signed him. It's like I mean, what a steal by Brad Stevens to trade Kemba Walker, who was virtually useless for us because, like, offensively, he really wasn't consistent. It got Al Horford, who was just a utility knife, 12, 12, and 5. Like, oh my God.
He's
like,
not washed. He's
No,
not
not
washed.
yeah.
He's
Get out
not
the
washed.
whiteboard.
Get the whiteboard. Get the whiteboard.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Hey, the whiteboard worked. Darren Neesmith finally played minutes and scored.
Yes.
It works. It does.
All right,
it
can
does.
we- Can the whiteboard
Email.
put down Celtics beat Heat or no?
No, whiteboard doesn't do shame.
It doesn't do lies. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Ouch, no.
Well, not 1-4-2, 1-4-3, but 1 and 2.
No. You know what? I don't like that because the Celtics are going to come out tomorrow night and they're going to play a great brand
Yeah,
of basketball.
Ian, what the hell is that attitude, man?
Yeah,
Come
did you,
on.
weren't you last night? You were telling us not to hop off the. Guess what? We're here and we're going to be all season long. We're going to be.
And guess what? I'm not hopping off the bandwagon, but we are playing the Miami Heat. Who have you
Wait.
watched any of their games? Have you seen how good they are? And
I'm
not saying the Celtics have zero.
I got Celtics in 4 games, baby. Celtics
Yeah, go
over
bet.
Heat
Go
in
bet
4
all of your
games.
money on the
Yeah,
Celtics
Rob,
tomorrow, Rob.
relax.
And let me know.
All right, hold up. This is a
Well-
public service announcement.
No, it's
Tomorrow
not.
night, I am betting $100 on Celtics money line, baby. Let's go.
Also, if you want to donate any ramen
just
to
light it on
Rob's
fire.
food fund,
Light it on
because
fire.
it feels like
Celtics
that's what
money
Rob's going to
line
need. So.
Tomorrow night, if you're watching this, join me tomorrow night. Celtics money line because I'm feeling good about it.
Dude, parlay it with Horford rebounds. And
Yeah, it'd be
Rob's going to start his own betting page on TikTok and tell you to vote the Celtics money line.
good. All right. Well,
Make the Uncut Gems parlay with the Celtics tomorrow, but without Horford instead of Kevin Garnett.
Al Horford is not washed. Hold on, let me get this
Nope,
thing
this
out.
way. Right here.
Hang on. Are we good?
How do I
There
point
we go.
down to it? Point down right over there.
Everyone,
All right.
just pointing to it right here.
Well,
We got to get Robin.
I don't know how to get it.
Got to like point towards the corner.
What the hell are you doing? What the hell is Rob doing?
I can't. Dude, I'm at, like,
Rob, just go like this, dude.
I can't.
Oh my gosh.
I
Officially, the best part of the podcast is
All
Rob
right.
figuring out where I am on the
Dude,
screen.
I don't know
He
how
does
it works.
do that a lot.
Yeah, like it's all in. There we go. Is that it? Like
He goes, all right. He
Yes,
literally
Rob,
in
you
the
got
You
podcast.
got it. You got it.
Seamus, in the podcast, he goes, all right, that's Justin, that's Ian.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us for post game live here. I'm Rob. That's Justin. That's Seamus. And down there.
Uh-oh.
Oh no! Is Ian, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow
And
is a big
that's Rob.
tomorrow
He's-
big
that's
game
Rob.
against the
He's,
Miami Heat. at 7:30 tip-off. Right back here. Come back here. Huge game. Like I said, there's got a lot to talk about. Let's go Celtics.